What, you mean a string of nonsensical emojis? Fire, sword, donut, spaceman, clock, dancing lady, flashlight, thumbs up. How am I supposed to know what that means?
I ignited the flaming sword, used it to cut a hole in space and time. Mum's light flooded through it, then it closed up behind her. All good.
Oswald, my friend!
Bruce Wayne, what a lovely surprise. You certainly are getting out quite a lot these days, aren't you?
The way I see it, everyone else in this town is having fun. Why shouldn't I?
I agree. You and your insanely large bank account are more than welcome here.
We're going to need some string treatment.
Not particularly fun.
I don't know if you could hear that. I couldn't hear it.
I could hear it.
But Karen could hear it, so we'll just take Karen's word on this. So if it comes off as really silent, and then you hear me going, bow, 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 you know what's up.
That's right.
You know how it is.
That's right.
Okay. So welcome to...
You can either be Team Charles or Team Karen.
Yeah. Team Karen's usually the safer choice. Just saying.
Welcome back.
But every so often, I get one right.
Of course. It's not ever... I would say it's 50-50.
I hope at least 50-50.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome to Phantom Zone, everybody. Shaman. Oh, you had to throw that back. That's it. Ooh, it's on. Ooh. It's on like Donkey Kong. Ooh, no.
Welcome to episode 128B.
We should do this. We should really do this over because we're doing a really horrible job at this.
We're really not.
All right. Yeah. So if you listen to Part A, or Side A, as if you're a vinyl snob, yes. So we are in Part B, Part 2, where we're going to talk about our remaining 3 shows: Black Lightning, and Arrow, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And we're going to start things off. Let's dive right in with Black Lightning, episode 3 of the first season, Lawanda, the Book of Burial. And now remember last week we had Lawanda, the Book of Hope.
Yeah, but that hope is gone.
Yeah, that hope was crushed into the ground and then squished, and then your shoe kind of wedges it in even more into the ground. Written by... Yeah, like that. There you go. Written by Jan Nash, directed by Mark Tonderai.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's our A, B, and C, Karen?
A story: Holt and Catch Fire.
Nice, I like that one.
Okay. The preacher's name's Holt.
Well played.
For those of you that don't remember.
Yep.
One More Rung, Eva Higher.
Okay.
Lady Eve, of
yes,
course.
Lady Eve.
And then Down in the Dump.
Down in the Dump. I guess that would be Anissa.
Correct.
All right. Because Anissa is learning she's got some powers.
That's right. She's doing some jujitsu there.
She's thunder.
That's right.
No, really,
Sunday,
she is.
Sunday. No,
I was thinking more of like a Thundercats kind of thing, but that's what I was doing.
Thundercats.
So we have Holt and Catch Fire, which, again, that's the Reverend Holt, who this is, we kind of pick up from the previous episode, Lawanda, who, if you recall, was this woman that was upset about her daughter's disappearance, blamed this one guy from the 100 named Lala for it. She essentially sets up her cell phone in this car door and takes herself off the board by confronting Lala, intending to die, which she does.
Right.
But, hey, the cell phone's recording it, and, it doesn't look good for Lala, really.
Right.
As we find out, and even more so because he ends up in the slammer.
Right.
and doesn't really go well while he's in there.
No, it doesn't.
No, but Reverend Holt is obviously the preacher speaking at Lawanda's service,
Hmm.
and Jefferson and Detective Henderson approach him, and they essentially Reverend Jeremiah and Henderson end up getting into a confrontation with Jeremiah thinking that Henderson is in the pocket of the 100. He's on the payroll
Hmm.
as a shady cop.
Now,
And,
that tense scene between the two of them, I really enjoyed that. Now you have that triumvirate of the law, the church, and the school
right,
all standing together in that little room. But that conflict between the law and the church, where the community, essentially being the church,
right,
standing up against the law, where you know the guy who's supposed to be for the community is really, he's very pious, and he's talking about, hey, you're in the pocket of the 100. We see what you're all about. And then, of course, the law coming back and saying, I see you standing there in your $1,000 suit.
You said with
your
a $20,000 watch.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
And I am out here on the beat wearing, working shoes.
right.
And that really hits when you watch it, that, this is a guy who works for a living.
Hmm.
And this other guy is preaching to regular people, but he's also taking their money.
Right.
So,
Now, there is obviously some hypocrisy going on here.
obviously.
But Henderson, we kind of would like to think that Henderson's kind of like the Commissioner Gordon to Black Lightning's Batman.
Right.
But we've had some hints that maybe Henderson's a little shady.
Yeah.
And
He might
he
be
might be like the Reverend is saying, but the Reverend doesn't really have a good place. He essentially, forgot that whole like he who is without sin should not cast the first stone kind of guy.
correct.
Yeah.
Right.
He kind of missed that Sunday school lecture.
I'd like to think that a lot of the people in this show are shades of gray.
Yeah. Which makes them feel more real because they're not just so black or white,
Literally black or white.
Well, no, I'm just saying that, like they're
and
not,
figuratively.
but I'm saying is that, yes, that, they're not so morally clear cut.
Right.
That, that makes them more real because people generally aren't one absolute or the other.
Right. Aren't all good or all bad.
Yeah.
We actually saw that with Lala.
Yeah.
Because, Lala came down to the school and kind of put the fear of God into his, cousin, nephew,
Yeah.
whatever he was, and said, when I went here, I kind of acted up too, but I also learned a lot. So maybe you need to buck up. And, he tried to actually get whoever that was in his family to, stop looking at his phone all the time and actually learn.
Right.
But then that he's also a bad guy.
Yeah.
So, there was that shade of gray.
Well, and then, he's being kind of abusive toward the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And Jefferson is just like, hey, wait a minute. He wanted really hard to step in.
Right. He really did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's definitely moral ambiguity about a lot of people.
Yeah. And then again, it's not like, Freeland, the city, the fictional city here, doesn't have corrupt cops.
Of course it does.
Yeah, because as we saw in the pilot, it's got some corrupt cops. So, yeah. Now, Reverend Jeremiah shows up later because there's, this big march that goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Lightning shows up, expecting like there's a gunman going to be there because they've heard that maybe Tobias Whale is going to do something at the march, to cause a disturbance.
Right.
Yeah. So essentially, he's there to make sure the march goes off peacefully. And The gunman shows up, though, and has his automatic weapon drawn. And, of course, Black Lightning confronts the guy, forms the shield that blocks all the bullets,
Mm-hmm.
and knocks out the gunman. And the marchers, led by Reverend Jeremiah, start singing Amazing Grace.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Tobias Well, meanwhile, drives by and orders his henchwoman to shoot Black Lightning. She fires a rifle, but misses Black Lightning and instead hits Reverend Jeremiah and Khalil, the boyfriend of Black Lightning's daughter, Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
And Reverend Holt gets rushed to the hospital. So does Khalil. And we find out it doesn't look good for Khalil because we find out at the end of the episode that apparently the bullet hit Khalil's spine and he may never walk again.
Right.
And this is after Black Lightning had earlier in the episode or whatever laid into Khalil pretty hard because he found out that Jennifer and Khalil were planning to have sex.
Right.
And Black Lightning gives him this really hilarious lecture about his athlete's foot
Right.
in the shower. He's like, look, you wash your hands with that, you get your hands with all that athlete's foot all over it, and you wash down there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is this really awkward conversation.
It was very awkward. And I do have to say Jennifer was a bit blunt.
Yeah.
On her end.
I see what you did there. Because, she does blunts and marijuana.
Right. But she actually was very to the point about what she was going to do.
Well, we find out that, hey, okay, we know we're like this really liberal family, but holy crap.
Not that liberal. I don't think they were expecting that at all.
I don't think any parent expects that.
No. Even if they say, hey, you can come to us with anything, I don't think they really.
But Jennifer's just like, okay, this is going to happen.
Right. Well, were they expecting it not to ever happen? I mean, they're not, right?
Right. And so they have this kind of like, Lynn and Jeff have this kind of, after this happens, they have a little aside conversation. And Lynn's kind of like, well, I guess it's a good thing she told us. And Jefferson's over in the corner like, no, this is not good.
It's not okay.
This is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad. And then that's why he lays into Khalil the next day. Khalil, while this is like he's laying into him, looks like he's ready to wet himself.
Yeah.
I expected that.
Me too.
He was just scared S-less.
If he knew who Jeff was.
Yeah, well, even more so, but.
Yeah. Because he wouldn't have to come at him with a shotgun.
I was trying to figure out where Jefferson was going to go with this. Like, okay, you're talking about his athlete's foot in the shower. This is getting a little creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes into like, okay, all right, it's going to go where he's talking about like, hey, you're going to get your athlete's foot in my daughter.
Yeah, no.
Ew.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. It's like, why are we having this guy?
Can we not even discuss that?
I know, but I just love that it was so awkward.
That hurts me, just thinking.
I was like, well, this is something you don't see on Arrow.
No, you do not.
So anyway, all right, so let's move on.
Yes.
All right, so let's move on to one more rung Eva higher.
Yeah, so there's someone above Tobias.
Yeah, well, it turns out that, Tobias, there's another player in the scene named Lady Eve, played by Jill Scott. And Lady Eve, if you're familiar with some DC comics, is a pretty obscure character.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out in the comics that she has ties to a certain terrorist organization called Cobra. Not the Cobra from G.I. Joe.
Not G.I. Joe, no.
DC Comics did Cobra first.
Right.
Just saying. And they spell Cobra with a K, not a C.
Correct.
But because it's based off this cult leader, it's more like a cult with the leader Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, Lady Eve. So I'm kind of wondering if they've introduced Lady Eve, and they kind of hint that maybe she's got some associates. So I'm hoping those associates we get to see Cobra.
Yeah, that would be good.
because that would be awesome if we do get to see Cobra. I don't know we will, but it would be cool if we did.
Yeah.
It could be somebody like Cyanide, who was another supervillain that kind of associated with.
She was tied into that.
Yeah.
whole
So,
thing, yeah.
but so I thought that was kind of cool.
Their outfits were kick-ass.
Yeah.
Too. They were like this like a tabard.
Yeah.
Front and back that was gold like a cobra.
Yeah.
And then they had a cobra head.
Yeah, they have a
and
cool, they have a
big
really
flowy cape.
Yeah, they have a
It's
really cool
awesome.
look. Now, Lady Eve, while we're talking about Lady Eve and her comics connection, in this episode, in a really cool Easter egg, they have Anissa going to the library where she runs into her future love interest, Grace Choi. Now, Grace is a new character for the show, but she ends up becoming a superhero in her own right, as she and Anissa kind of hook up in the pages of The Outsiders. That was
right.
That was volume 3, which was written by Jen Winnick. Okay. Here in this episode, Anissa runs into the Grace for the first time. Grace is reading a copy of Outsiders volume 2, number 16. And it's a comic by Mike W. Barr, who created The Outsiders, and Paul Pelletier. But the issue is actually, the story is called Island Girls. And guess who's on the cover? Lady Eve.
Right.
I see.
That's before.
Yes.
That's before Grace is in it, though,
Yes.
right?
Yes. This is the volume, but this was the incarnation of the group before Grace was in it. But after the incarnation of the group, where Jefferson as Black Lightning was in it with Batman, in Batman the Outsiders.
Okay.
The original Outsiders.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So again, this is like the
meta.
This is the second Outsiders reference we've had on CW shows, but here it's kind of cool. So I'm hoping we'll get some more Outsiders connections.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and they actually mentioned like Grace is into cosplay, and she talks about like characters like in the Outsiders, like who did she mention? Looker, who was a member of the Outsiders. So, thought that was kind of cool.
Yep. And Cobra's tied into the Outsiders.
So it's a very meta in-joke that they had an actual copy of the Outsiders that
really
featured
is.
Lady Eve. So I thought I just had to bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a comics geek, that was cool. All right. So anything more about Lady Eve before we move on?
It was a cool character. I loved her representation of her.
And I like Jill Scott as her. She was...
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
I love how she was like all nicey and honey and sweetie pie and all that until it got to the point where she was menacing, and then she turned it off like a switch.
Yep.
It was really fantastic. It was how I would want that character to be played. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was cool. So obviously we'll get to learn more about Lady Eve as the show goes on. But again, she's somebody you probably want to keep an eye on.
Yes.
A close
definitely.
eye. Yeah. Okay, so down in the dump, this is more of Anissa, because Anissa, after hooking up with her future love interest, Grace, and going out to a cosplay party, which I thought was interesting. It's like, okay. We find out that Grace is a big cosplay geek.
Right.
And first, before we get to the dump part, Anissa's dancing with Grace at the party when Anissa's girlfriend shows up.
Right.
Thinks that Anissa is cheating. Not yet. And so essentially her girlfriend dumps her. See what I did there? At the party.
I see what you did there.
And so Anissa ends up like, okay, well, I guess I'll... she ends up telling Grace that, oh, hey, my girlfriend took her apartment key back, so I guess that's over.
Mm-hmm.
Then she ends up going to the dump where is that? Wait a minute, let's see here. That's where she's doing some training.
Right.
Yeah, she
Well,
she
she
basically
wants to.
practicing with her powers.
She doesn't know how they work yet.
Yes, she's trying to figure it out.
Right.
And she gets a little frustrated because she tries to like um, kick this really heavy object. Like I think it was like a washing machine
Yeah, it was
or a
something like that. It
refrigerator.
had a
Something.
glass
Yeah.
window in it or something.
I was thinking like a washing machine. So she's trying to move this washing machine. She kind of shoves it, but normal strength.
Yeah, and she kicks it.
And then she gets kind of a little like pissed off that it's not working.
Mhm.
And that's when that anger kind of flows through her. Her thunder powers kick in, and
Right.
she boots that washing machine all the way across the junkyard.
Right. Well, she realizes that it's her breathing.
Yeah,
That's how she breathes. That's how.
yeah. Well,
Everything.
yeah, she was trying to focus, and yeah, because
Right.
she's an athlete, so
Mhm.
yeah.
And she also punches the big stack of junk right in front of her, and
Cars
something
or-
falls off
yeah,
the
yeah,
top.
yeah.
Yeah. So she figures out how to channel it, which I liked.
Yeah, so she's starting to figure out how her powers work, which is cool.
Hmm?
So, one step closer to thunder.
That's right.
So
I like it.
I do
Now,
too.
what's going to happen when she and Dad?
Lynn is not going to like it.
No. What's going to happen when she and Dad figure out that they both have powers?
I'm thinking Jefferson will be cool with it, but Lynn obviously won't.
Oh no, Lynn. We already know that.
Because I watched last night's Black Lightning episode, and there was some hints that where Nissa's kind of talking about, hey, Black Lightning has to do what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And she's throwing support for Black Lightning, not knowing her father's Black Lightning, presumably.
Right.
And Jefferson's kind of sitting back going, yep, that's my baby girl.
Yeah.
So
they'll be good with each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lynn's, we already know she's going to hate it.
Yeah, my wife Lori hates Lynn. She's just like,
I'm not a fan.
yeah, they need to do a better job of bringing Lynn, trying to bring herself around. But right now she's just coming off as very judgmental.
At least she is not the only woman on the show.
Yes.
They have better
Yeah.
women on.
Well, I mean,
So.
Jefferson's daughters.
The girls.
The daughters are great. So, now, granted, Jennifer needs to get her act together, but maybe she will start to do so soon.
Sure.
Hopefully. And Nissa already seems to be on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully she'll stay that way. All right. Anything else about this episode?
No, I'm really digging this show a lot.
Yeah.
I like it very.
Yeah. I like it too. I like the way it's going. Obviously, there's some stuff on this show that you don't get to see on, especially the other CW superhero shows. So I kind of dig that, and it's something new and fresh, and I'm really liking the direction the show is going. So hopefully,
And the guy that plays Tobias.
Yeah.
So good.
Marvin Crondon Jones.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah. He's good. So, all right. What's your rating for this one?
I give it 8 smashed appliances.
Yeah. I'm guessing that one's going to invalidate the warranty on this one.
Probably.
But it was already in the junkyard.
It was already at the dump.
Yeah, it was already at the dump. I give this one 8.5 copies of Outsiders number 16 because that was awesome. I dug it. Great Easter egg.
I'm guessing my grade is somewhere in between an 8 and 8.5. Yeah. I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
Just,
This wasn't your favorite, though, so far.
No, it's not my favorite.
Yeah. It's your
mostly because of the hypocrisy
and all that.
It's
only 3 episodes, but yeah.
Right.
So
I hated that guy.
Yeah.
A lot.
But I like this one a little bit better. All right.
Yeah.
Next on our list, Arrow, the 12th episode of the 6th season, All for Nothing, written by Beth Schwartz and Oscar Balderrama, directed by Marzi Almus.
Alrighty.
And what's our A, B, and C, Karen?
Vincenting out the traitor.
Okay.
Sorry, that one's terrible.
That's okay.
Bad siren, good siren, bad siren.
Yeah, it just depends on the episode, really.
Yep.
No rhyme or reason for it.
And then more MOAR, more flashbacks, because we got more. But these are okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
You're okay with the flashbacks here?
Sure, these are all right. Well, they're not to the island, so,
Oh, that's true. At least we're not. Yeah, at least we're not island flashbacks.
Yeah.
God help us if we ever go back to island flashbacks.
Oh, please no. Please.
Okay, all right.
If I ever see the island
Yeah.
again,
Yeah,
I will kill someone.
yeah. Let's just blow up the island for real. I mean, I know that what's his name kind of blew a good portion of it up. Let's just nuke the whole thing. Really. All right. Okay, so Vincenting out the traitor.
Get it, Vincent?
Yeah, because this is a reference to Vincent, a.k.a. the Vigilante.
Mm-hmm.
And turns out, oh, hey, the Vigilante is kind of, still playing both sides a little bit.
Well, he's really only playing one side, right?
Well, as we find out, yeah, he's kind of working undercover, supposedly working with Dinah.
Right.
And also working with Renee and Curtis.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
He was planning on selling out Caden James this whole time, right?
Yes, presumably.
So who was he going to work with before he decided to go with Dinah and Renee?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know.
Right?
It's hard to figure out.
I mean, because he already tried to kill Oliver a couple times.
And Oliver's, obviously, understandably holds a grudge against that.
So it's not like he was going to walk up to Oliver and go, "Hey, let me turn in Caden James." So
unless he was feeling guilty about it, I don't know why. There's no real reason here.
So if he was undercover this whole time, then who was he planning on going to with all this inside information?
Maybe Detective Lance? I don't know.
Who is also playing
that's right. He was not Detective Lance anymore. He's the assistant mayor.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Deputy mayor, I should say.
So it just hit me as like, okay, it's pretty handy that Dinah isn't working with Oliver anymore, so that now Vincent can go to her.
Right.
Without having to talk to Oliver.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this show is nothing but convenient sometimes. All right.
All right.
So we had Caden James, who already kind of hints that he knows that Vincent's the traitor.
Right. Which he does.
And it's eventually we had Vincent meets up with both groups of Team Arrow. Because Curse's group doesn't really have a name yet.
Yeah, I don't know what they are.
Yeah, they did bring up like, well, hey, we could call ourselves the Outsiders, and then Dinah made this joke about the S.E.'s Hinton Outsiders book and movie. So they meet with Vincent about Caden's plans, and Vincent tells them that if Oliver enters Caden's hideout, he'll detonate the thermobaric warhead, leveling most of Star City.
Mm-hmm.
And so they listen to more about Caden's plans, and Felicity and Curtis decide, okay, Vincent needs to go deeper undercover.
So they give him all this stupid tech talk.
They go into double secret undercover.
Even though Caden James is a tech genius.
Yes.
They give Vincent tech buzzwords.
Yes. Technobabble. If you're a Star Trek fan,
right.
That's what they call technobabble.
And they have him steal technology from Caden James, like Caden James wouldn't notice.
Yes. So, surprise, he does. But
surprise, Caden knows.
Yeah, because he gets into this server room, Vincent does, and starts transferring these files. Caden walks in, catches him, surprise.
Hey, I'm just twisting the cadence root here and getting the server node and the Cat 5 tail.
Yeah, that was this part where Felicity's kind of feeding him lines to tell Caden. So he doesn't blow his cover. So he basically tries to sound like, oh, yeah, I'm hip with all the tech lingo. And Caden is probably all I could do to keep from laughing.
Not just that, but he has no reason to be... Vincent has no reason to be in there. Right. It doesn't matter how much technobabble he spout.
Well, because he, hacked the access code to get in.
Right.
So you're right. He shouldn't be in there at all.
Right. So Caden already knows something is up.
Yeah, would think.
So dumb.
So Vincent gets outside of. I guess he figures out how to distract Caden long enough for the file transfer to complete,
Right.
and then gets out of the compound and transmits the files. Caden follows Vincent outside, where he calls him a traitor and then shoots him with a stun gun.
Right. And if you think Caden didn't want him to get that stuff out of there, you are dumb.
Yeah. So Caden
he obviously did.
Yeah. So Caden starts questioning Vincent, and he finds out that Vincent, is a metahuman with regenerative powers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
who didn't see that coming?
So if you watch the Deadpool 2 trailer that was released this morning, regeneration powers activate.
Right. Exactly.
You like that?
But of course, if Dinah got powers, then he probably got powers too.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense.
There's nothing super surprising about that.
It is kind of funny that his face is messed up and he has regeneration powers like Deadpool.
Right.
Right? And he wears a mask that covers his entire face.
Right.
Yeah. And he has guns. Okay. Just saying.
Except for he's not nearly as good as not being dead.
Yeah.
And he was impaled on rebar.
That's true.
Like Deadpool.
That's true. Good point. I didn't realize that. So what else are we here? So Dinah ends up finding Vincent, and there's an explosion. They both regain consciousness. Dinah gets trapped under rubble. Vincent goes to help her when he's blown away by Black Siren.
That's right.
And then that's when he gets impaled on the rebar. Ouchie. And Black Siren comes right up to Vincent and goes right by his ear hole and unloads her canary cry right into his ear hole and kills him. Yeah. Yep. Her siren cry, excuse me. Her siren cry. Mm-hmm. And so he's dead. So so let's see if we come back from that one. Let's see how strong those regeneration powers are.
That's right.
And
I don't think he's coming back.
I don't think he is either.
And so Dinah is
So hopefully now we can get the Adrian Chase vigilante, because that would be nice.
Would be.
Just saying, Arrow Riders.
Mm-hmm. So now it's Siren versus Siren.
Yep.
Because she wants to kill Laurel bad.
Yes.
Well, she says so at the end.
Well, basically that Thea, like they basically said that Oliver's like, Dinah wants to kill. I'm sorry, that's where I got confused. I thought you were trying to talk about somebody like Laurel wanting to kill Laurel, and I'm just like, wait.
No.
So Dinah wants to kill Laurel.
Right.
Yes, the Earth 2 Laurel.
Correct.
Black Siren. Yes. Right. Yeah. So she's all mad because she obviously killed her would-be boyfriend.
You killed my Vincent.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and Thea also has given up that Laurel has any shot at redemption.
Yeah.
And she tells Lance.
Yeah. So apparently, like, Thea and Lance, their whole purpose in this episode is to try to see, like, keep an eye on Laurel, and Lance ends up like tricking her, lures her to this place where like there's all these pictures of the Earth 1 Laurel Lance,
mm-hmm.
where being all lovey and whatnot and adorable, and everybody likes her. So she gets all pissed off, destroys the screen showing the pictures,
mm-hmm.
and this is when Thea's just like, I don't know if I think we might be wrong about her turning good.
Yeah.
And
those pictures, they can backfire big time, because all she sees is, I'm not that girl, right?
Right. And that just kind of, that's just kind of upset. And then Thea's just like, well, did I mention that, Earth 2 Laurel killed Vincent?
Yeah.
So.
And then Thea's like, I just don't know if she can be redeemed.
Yeah. And poor Lance just sitting there with his scrapbooks because he loves the scrapbook that Thea made him.
Mm-hmm.
So more scrapbooking.
Well, is that what she's good for?
Apparently, I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can coax a Thea impression out of you, and I'm failing miserably.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. I don't think she's gonna be good anymore. I think she's bad. I can't help you. And I got paper cuts from all the scrapbooking.
I really like these scrapbooks. Although they get the glitter everywhere. Why do you do all the glitter?
They're the herpes of crafting supplies. And you have them. Laurel's so mean. She killed that guy. She killed him.
He probably had it coming.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So.
Guy. Why did that happen?
So maybe they're just trying to throw a little doubt before they do the heel turn, and Black Siren decides she's good, and then. But of course, I think what's going to happen, long term, they're going to kill off Dinah.
Oh no!
And Earth 2
Laurel.
Earth 2 Laurel will be the Black Canary, but she will use the alias Dinah Lance. That's what I think they're setting up.
So annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already married to Felicity. Why do they have to make it?
Because remember, Black Canary in the Justice League of America originally came from Earth 2.
Right.
Until they revealed that, it was actually Black Canary's daughter.
Right.
Where they revised it, and then the Earth 2 Black Canary was her mom, and then she crossed over, and yeah. And then
yes, it's very convoluted.
It got a little convoluted at that point.
But it's not evil Black Canary.
So I'm just kind of wondering if they're going to make the Earth 2 Laurel as become Dinah Lance, the Black Canary.
She's so much more interesting as bad Black
I agree. She's much better as a villainess than she is as a hero. So
I like bad.
She was not a great Black Canary.
No.
She's a better Black Siren than she was a Black Canary. Let's put it that way.
I agree.
Okay. All right. So anything else about this episode?
We got to see the flashback.
Oh, yeah, we didn't do the flashback. Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah.
It's just Vincent and Dinah and seeing them undercover and how they were in Star City, and they were good. I liked them.
Okay, they helped advance, at least fuel the story that they were referencing in this episode. Okay.
And it helped us see Dinah's background.
Yeah, give a little more backstory that we needed. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Anything else about this episode?
No, it wasn't great.
Yeah. Well, this one I thought was okay, but what's your rating?
7.5 missing bombs.
Yeah. A lot of talk about this. This what should I call it? The type of bomb. I keep forgetting the thermobaric warhead. But we never actually see the thermobaric warhead.
No, because it wasn't there.
That's true. It was all a ruse, wasn't it?
Right. It was a ruse to get them to the warehouse.
Yep. I like this one a little better than you. I gave it 8 pictures of Earth 1 Laurel Lance.
Not much better, just a little better.
But, they killed off a character.
Now I can't stop thinking of Archer saying, it's a ruse. Sorry. Yeah, they killed off a character. They killed off...
Phrasing.
They killed off Vincent,
yeah,
who is not a huge character, but that means that Caden James is down.
Yeah.
A henchman.
Well, and it also gives Dinah and Laurel sets up that grudge match.
That's right. So, gives her a vendetta.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have this big showdown between the Canaries.
Right.
Sort of.
Who will win?
Who will win? Yeah.
2 go in, 1 comes out.
Again, my money is on Laurel killing, or Earth 2 Laurel killing Dinah.
Or 2 might come out. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Let me finish.
2 canaries enter, 1 canary leaves.
Or 2 canaries leave.
Yeah.
Whichever.
If you're a Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Right.
person. All right. Our last show for this week, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 510
Past life.
Past Life, written by DJ Doyle, directed by Eric Laneuville. Or Laneuville, I don't know, something like that.
Yanoville?
Laneuville.
Is it two L's?
Laneuville? I don't know. It's Laneuville.
Okay.
So, Laneuville, I guess.
So what you said.
Yeah. I don't think he's listening. If he is, sorry about butchering your name. If not, never mind. All right. Okay. So what's our A, B, and C, Karen, if you would?
A story, Cree, CP, or Yo Yo Yo?
How about Cree CP Yo? Get it?
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Or how about C Creepio?
No, it's Cree CP.
Okay. Cree CPO.
PCP.
All right. But you like what it did with the Cree CPO?
Yo Yo Yo. Yeah, that's nice.
All right. So okay, so that's obviously Yo Yo and
the PCP.
And the PCP. Yep.
And then paralyzed, then apologize.
Okay.
And then / you should get that looked at. And then the C story, there's a couple little C stories.
Yep.
Enoch already.
Yeah. Enoch already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monolith.
Yeah.
And blessed is the Deke.
Okay. Gotcha. Got it. Yeah, I get what you get. I think my
I thought these were the most clever.
I think my favorite this week is still Halt and Catch Fire.
Is it? Okay.
I like that one a lot. That was very clever. Okay. All right. Okay, so Cree CP and Yo Yo Yo.
One storyline.
Okay, you want to set up the Cree CP?
Well, there is this kind of, is it an injection or is it like a ball of something that you eat? What is it that you take and it turns you into this frothing Hulk monster?
Yeah. It's essentially like, it's just
some sort of pill, maybe. I mean, what he does is he takes a vial,
right,
and he like pulls something out.
I thought he kind of downs it.
I don't know. That's what I thought he did, but then when I watched it again, it looks like he just takes something and does something with it.
Okay, well, whatever it is, it essentially turns you into this big ragey monster guy.
Right, and it makes like black stuff come out of your eyes and your nose.
Yeah, you're bleeding from your eyeballs.
Right.
Yeah.
So he gives it to one of his minions, and he sends him out, and that minion goes to kill Coulson and May and all of them in the hallway. And they end up fighting him off, not handily. They have to really work at it.
Right.
But they do manage to fight him off in the end. And that's important, that they do have this match with him in the hallway.
Yes.
But they do. And then, because Casillas can't get Mac and Yo-Yo and all them, he's at his last wits, and he lost.
Essentially, Casillas has this big meltdown.
What's her name from last week?
Sonara.
Sonara, yeah, he lost Sonara.
Right. And
his zombifier.
Yeah.
Says that she's too dead and it won't work on her and everything.
Yeah, so he can't bring her back from the dead.
Right.
She's all dead as opposed to mostly dead.
Mostly dead, right.
Right.
And he is like, no, you must raise her. No, I can't raise her. And then he shoots that guy, which, hey, he can't raise her now.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't help, does it?
No, it doesn't. So he goes completely cuckoo over the edge.
Yeah.
And he decides, well, then I'm going to take matters into my own hands, and he runs off.
Yeah.
And
then he ends up having this big showdown with Mac.
Right, where he takes the Cree CP.
Right.
And fights Mac, and we'll go into the rest of that in a bit.
Okay.
Because there's more to that story.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You want to just dive right into it?
Okay, well, and this is where when Yo-Yo split off, she is looking for his seer.
Right. We should talk about Yo-Yo first, yes.
Yeah, she comes across a woman on a bed, and when that woman tells her to go away, she doesn't.
Now, remember, this is the seer that at the end of the previous episode, Cassia said, "Yeah, I've got to see her too."
Right.
So
what it really is, it's not someone who can tell the future. It's someone who knows the past and
Right.
knows what they've done.
So translation, it's one of the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right. And it just happens to be Yo-Yo.
Right.
He's
So
raised
we have
over and over.
future Yo-Yo,
Right.
older Yo-Yo, we should say, probably.
Right. Who he is killed and raised and killed and
Right.
raised and killed and raised.
Right.
So yeah, pretty bad news. And she, our Yo-Yo,
Yes.
is trying to save that Yo-Yo, and she tells her finally right at the end, you need to leave, and she shows her that she's being kept there by, her arms and everything have been cut off. Oh, it's just gross.
Yeah. Now this is after though, future Yo-Yo tells her past self that Coulson's dying.
Right.
And they need to let him die.
Right. And that's kind of the key.
Yes.
To everything.
Yes. Because trying to save him is what caused all this.
Right.
This loop.
Right. So she runs off, and this is when Casillas apparently, and we don't see this, but Casillas comes and gets his seer Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
And takes that Yo-Yo to the Coliseum type fighting ring area. Meets Mac there.
Yep.
And Mac only sees that he's got Yo-Yo, and he doesn't know that there's this duplicate.
Right. He's not aware that there's been a switch.
Right.
And now Max also has his handy shotgun axe.
Right. Exactly.
Which gets a little taste in this episode.
Right, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So Casillas kills this version of Yo-Yo by slitting her throat.
Right, and Mac is all like,
Mac,
no.
Right. Mac goes insane. The little red skull goes off over his head like he goes all ragey. And then Casillas jumps into the ring.
Steam comes out of his ears.
Casillas takes the stuff and jumps into the ring, and they have this fight. They're fighting really hard, and he's almost got Mac on the mat. And this is when Daisy finally gets some back on Casillas and puts this silvery stuff in his ear.
Yeah, well, yeah. What happened was that Daisy, there was another slave, and Daisy gets that ear thing out of her. Remember that now. This is Daisy, or not Daisy's. This is Gemma's big payback.
Right.
Because Gemma had that thing implanted in her ear hole by Casillas, so that she was rendered deaf.
Right.
And
so Gemma gets put in.
So Gemma gets a little revenge, and I was very happy for this. Jams it in Casillas' ear hole so that he can't hear.
And that's when Mac
sneaks up behind him, stabs him with the shotgun axe.
Exactly. Yep. Well, he dies just like Sonara does, which I love.
Yep.
I mean, right through the middle of his body.
Yep.
Which was great. And so Gemma gets her.
Casillas is finally off the board. Yay!
Yeah, and Gemma gets hers. Now, mind you, when they went back in time, he would have been, neutralized anyway. But hey, whatever.
Whatever. This is
understand.
This is more satisfying, though.
I don't understand why they worked so hard to save all these people, and if they had just gotten off.
Yeah.
The place and
just go back in time and erase the timeline from being ever happening.
Right. Then.
Right?
Yeah. But anyway.
But again, this falls into the predestination argument.
Yeah.
That maybe it's going to happen regardless.
So they want to just make sure, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that, and Mac, of course. This is when Yo-Yo comes running. The real Yo-Yo comes running in, and Mac is so relieved. Oh my God, thank goodness.
Yep.
And she kind of explains it. I mean, we see that there's some kind of resolution that's going to happen at that point. Yep. That Yo-Yo will explain that.
Right. So okay. All right.
And then there's the whole main story with them trying to get the small monolith in the ship.
Yes.
That's going to power the big monolith. They're trying to get that already, where Enoch is in the Wave Rider trying to get
the Wave Rider. This is Legends of Tomorrow. The Zephyr. Yeah, I know. It's a ship is a ship, but yeah. I'm just like, are we on Legends of Tomorrow now?
Whatever. It looks the same to me.
Legends of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of Legend.
Agents of Legends.
Agents of Tomorrow. Okay,
There you
so
go.
it's
Agents of Tomorrow. I like that one.
he's in the ship.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say ship. No, it's a Zephyr.
Yes.
I just read a book where the main character's name was Zephyr too.
Okay.
Anyway, they're in the Zephyr.
I love the way your brain works.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's like a non sequitur machine.
It does. It's just pinballs all around in your brain.
Okay, I'm not bragging here, but I am like super smart. But my brain is not linear.
No.
In the least. It's just
you would make a good Time Lord because you don't live a linear existence.
You don't ever. And I can connect it all together.
Right.
There's always a connection between everything. Okay, so anyway.
It's all connected.
It is all connected.
Yep.
I would make a good Time Lord.
Yep.
Or the bad guy Time Lord.
Ooh. Mwahaha. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway. So he's in the ship and they're trying to get the battery working. Deke decides he's going to go because, they need someone to help fight off all the bad guys.
Right. And Deke, you look expendable. How about you do it?
He is the only one that's expendable. In fact, Deke is the one that comes to that conclusion.
Right.
Which, that's his redemption storyline, right?
Pretty much.
And so he decides he's going to go to the ship. Enoch comes to the conclusion that his battery is double.
Yeah, apparently he's not like the Energizer Bunny, and he runs out of power.
Right. So they're going to use his battery, but his battery will explode, of course, which means Deke will be vaporized.
Exactly. So all this builds up to them. Now, meanwhile, Flint is the one who, remember, he was supposed to be very important according to, what's her name? Robin.
Hmm?
So Flint is the key to reforming the monolith, which will get everybody home. Because remember, he's like Mr. Rock Guy.
Right.
So that's his
Flint Stone.
Yeah, exactly.
As it were.
So,
Gemma hands him the little piece they have, or piece of the piece.
Right.
And she tells him how to examine it, even though she has no idea how he would look at that stone, right?
Pretty much. She's just guessing.
Yeah. And he looks at it and he can see the patterns in it, whatever. And once he gets a bunch of rock that is similar, which is what the porous kind of rock that the base of it is made of.
Right.
He puts it all together and he makes the kind of whirls and swirls and stuff that's inside it.
Yep. Basically he gets it all, the monolith is all hooked up, ready to go. Deke hooks Enoch up to the machine, but Enoch's obviously dying sooner than expected. The machine fires up, and then we see Gemma, Mac, and Yo-Yo running for the monolith.
Just at the last minute.
The machine goes up, the monolith goes all liquidy, spoogey all over.
Yep.
And so we're not quite sure who actually makes it back to the past.
Right.
So,
or back into the monolith.
Back to the future. Oh, wait.
No, into the monolith.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Because it might not be the past.
Right. So we'll find out when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. returns.
Now, remember, at the end of the episode, we see
Yeah.
Flint and
Tess
talking about how they're going to reform the Earth.
Right.
And she shows them the little model, right?
Yep.
And they're in the ship floating outside the Earth. My theory is that they're going to the future where this has already happened.
See, I think they're going back to the past.
That's what you think.
We'll find out.
You will. That's just my theory.
You probably know more than me, though.
I remember seeing somewhere that they are not going back to their past.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean it is exactly what's going to happen.
Okay. So we'll find out here in a few weeks when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. finally comes back.
And then there's a little part where Daisy decides she doesn't want to go because if she goes back, there's still a chance that she will cause the Earth to explode. Coulson.
So she figures, well, if I don't go back, then no Earth exploding.
Right. Coulson finds that unacceptable and tranquilizes her.
Yeah.
However, we notice that when his shirt parts a little bit, he's got a weird, like, ugly scar.
It's like this big black scar spreading across his chest.
Right.
Any theories about that scar? Because I have a theory about that scar.
I think it came from the fight.
You think
with the 3CP?
Really? Because I think it goes all the way back to, remember when Coulson was impaled in the Avengers movie, the first Avengers movie?
Seriously?
I'm hoping.
Before Tahiti, even?
Well, no. My point is that, remember, he was brought back.
Right.
So I'm wondering if, like, the effects of that eventually have caught up with him.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's, if that's related, but remember, he was impaled.
Yeah.
By Loki's little staff thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if that, like, he was on borrowed time and then time's run out.
Interesting.
That's my theory.
That's an interesting theory.
So we'll see.
I just thought it was the
yours mix is much tidier than mine.
Right.
Because it's relating to what just happened.
What just happened, yeah.
But I'm hoping for something a little more long term.
And we don't know how it affects humans.
Yeah.
It was only used on the Kree.
Right.
But yours would be much more interesting.
Yeah, we'll see if I'm right. It's just, if I was the writer, I would make it go all the way back to the Avengers movie when he died.
Yeah, and if they're planning on killing him, which they might actually kill him off.
Right. Because maybe Clark Gregg is ready to move on to something else.
Well, I've heard rumors.
Yeah.
Tying it back to the movie where he died would be a good circle.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Just making him die from this CP would be lame.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I like my theory better, but
I do too.
I don't know if it's going to be true or not. I don't know if it's going to happen, but
I like your theory better. Yeah. I think my theory might be right.
It's a cooler theory. I agree. I think yours is probably right. But
I think mine might be right. Yours is much better.
But mine, yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll take that. I'll take that as my win and run with it. Yeah. All right.
I'd be sad when mine's right, though. I hate it.
I know.
I hate it now that you gave mine.
I know. That's okay. All right. Anything else about this episode?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. I'm good, too. So what was your rating for it?
I give it 8.5 volatile Android batteries.
Yep.
I miss Enoch already.
Yeah. He would make a great Vulcan on Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, my God. He would.
Because I posted that. I'm just like...
That guy was good.
Dude is like a Vulcan. I mean, like, he has that monotone down cold.
He was great.
Yeah.
I really liked him. So and he managed to make you care about him with that, too.
Yeah, exactly. He's not just...
He was really good.
Yeah, he was really... Yeah, he would be a great addition to Star Trek Discovery. Just saying. Just throwing
And back
that
in the
out there.
day, he would have been great on Fringe, too. As an observer.
As an observer. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. And not just because the bald thing.
No. Just that he has that demeanor.
Mm-hmm. Very...
Yeah, you could see him playing that role as an observer. Yeah. Yes. That's well spotted. All right. We'll finally get in sync this week. It took us a while, but we got there at the end.
On the last show.
8.5 from me as well. Ominous black chest scars.
And I wrote bottom after it.
I would have done dun dun dun. Yeah, but that's me.
Same thing.
Yeah. So dramatic music. So we'll see what happens there.
God, I really hope they go back. If they decide to kill him, I hope they go back.
It would make perfect go full circle like that. Yes, I agree. All right, we'll see if I doubt if I'm right, but anyway. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Now you're getting my hopes up.
I don't want to get them hope. Don't get them up because it's probably not going to happen.
You need to write for these shows.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I would love to write for these shows. So if anybody's listening that has the ability to make that happen.
If they came to you and said, would you like to write for Arrow? Would you take them up on it?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Because
it would have to be Arrow, though. I'm asking you Arrow.
I'm okay with that because the ability to have the chance to fix a show that I have a problem with is very tempting to me. I love the ability to the opportunity to go in and try to steer it the way it needs to go. Yes. Try to course correct.
Yeah. Would you call me and let me give you ideas?
Totally. You would be the first person I would call.
Okay, good.
Yes. We would be on Skype writing the episode. I'd be typing it right out.
Okay, you have to do
this, and I'd be like, okay, that's awesome. Type it away. All right. So if anybody can make that happen, get in touch with us. You know where to.
Okay, and the other way around, if you could ever get me to sing in a Disney movie, then I'm right there. That's my dream.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Just to sing a little bit part in a Disney movie. That's what I've always wanted to do my whole life.
Please, somebody make that happen.
If anybody can make that happen.
Yeah, please. I think you deserve that far more than I do.
Why? Why do I deserve to sing in a Disney movie?
Well, because you've got like your condition, and so
come on.
I just feel like
a lot of people have MS that don't get to do cool things.
But it would be awesome if you could.
Well, it would be awesome.
I would be very happy for you. Let's put it that way.
My entire life, I have been into Disney and been singing, and one of the things I've always thought would be awesome is singing in it. Not being the princess or anything. I've always actually wanted to like sing like for a bad person.
Oh, like a villain. That would be awesome.
Or a henchman or something.
Oh, okay. That would be cool.
Henchwoman, of course. But yeah.
Nobody drinks like Gaston. Nobody, no.
No, not that one. No.
All right. Anyway. Okay. So before we get into how you could reach us, if you have that ability to make that happen for either of us, I take it we have some Justina feedback.
We do. Would you like to hear it?
And we get to hear it this week. Yay. Mm-hmm. Yes, please do.
Here we go.
I haven't heard it yet, so I'm looking forward
I haven't either.
Oh, okay. This will be new for both of us.
I hardly ever listen to it.
So hit it.
I just edit it so we can both laugh at it.
Yes.
I mean, laugh with it, not at it. Oh my God, that sounds terrible.
It does.
Laugh with it.
Shame.
Justina knows I love
her. Shame. Ding.
I know. Justina knows I love her.
Yes.
With it.
Hi, Karen and Charles. Wow, Supergirl really had some good action this week. Though I wasn't too interested in the storyline with Morgan Edge, and way more interested to get back to the World Killers and what's going on with them. Speaking of World Killers, do you have any background information on them from the comics? Is there 3 main ones like they are insinuating that there are in the show? I really do like these caramel moments that they're giving us between Kara and Mon-El. I know other people do not, but I think it makes sense because they were so in love before and thought they would never see each other again, and now they're together at the same time. I'm totally okay with them having these friendship moments as long as CW doesn't try to make Supergirl into a homewrecker. I don't want them to break up Mon-El's marriage just to manufacture extra drama. Supergirl gets 8 out of 10 dangerous brews. Who knew coffee carts were such high risk? My favorite episode of the week was The Flash, for sure. Although, I really have to say, Harrison Wells might be a genius, but he really has to start thinking things through a little bit further before he just jumps and acts on a plan. But Trunk and Team Flash and gestational telepathy really made for a funny episode. Flash gets 9 out of 10 big gulps. Arrow was my least favorite episode of the week because it was so dark and sad. But it was interesting to get some more Dinah backstory. But I still think this team is going to keep losing if it remains separated like it is. So Arrow gets 7 out of 10 deadly screams. I'm planning on giving Black Lightning another episode, but I haven't watched this week's episode yet. So far, however, I'm finding Black Lightning to be a high-quality show, but hard to watch due to the level of violence and darkness. Have a super week.
Okay, thank you, Justina.
Yes, Justina. Wow, that's a low grade for Arrow.
She actually went lower in Arrow than we did.
Yeah.
That tells you something.
Yeah.
That tells you something. So
I wish you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because
now you notice, Justine and I are in sync on our Supergirl grade.
You sure are.
So you're the outlier in this week on that one.
I like it though, and I have to say I do not like the caramel moments because it's like Mon-El just keeps going, "Hey, Kara, how you doing?" Kara, leave me alone.
Everybody keeps going to Kara like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate them, no. I mean, it's not like I'm saying he needs to stay away from her. It's just,
I mean, I get that Mon-El is kind of a constant reminder of being around doesn't really help, but I would kind of like to see Kara move on, start to at least come to terms with it, like be okay as friends and Kara be okay with that, and then maybe drift somewhere else romantically.
But isn't it hard to do that when he's always up in her face?
It is, and yeah, the situation does not make it easy by any means. So
No.
anyway,
Not even for a human.
So Justina, you asked about the World Killers. Now, unfortunately, hadn't read that storyline in the Supergirl comics.
There's 5 of them, I think,
Yeah,
not just.
yeah, but there are others. So kind of.
And they are created to kill. I think, aren't they created to kill Kryptonians?
Yes, as I understand it.
Yeah.
So,
not Earthlings, obviously, because they didn't.
No, because yeah, they came from Krypton, so yeah, they wouldn't.
Right. But once they had moved to Earth, they were going to take over Earth and inhabit it.
Right.
And knowing that Kara was there and everything, they had Kara and Clark. They had to kind of take them out.
Right. So there is some precedent in the comics. That's all I know.
There was more than one.
Yeah.
I think there were 5. There were multiple storylines with them. Some of them with 1 or 2 at a time. They all had different powers.
Okay.
So there were a few. If you would like, I can give you those episodes, but I can do that for you in private, Justina.
There you go. Sounds good. So, but if anybody really wants more information on the World Killers, there's Wikipedia, but
Or I could put it on the Facebook.
Or you could put it on the Facebook page. Even better. How's that?
I'll do that.
There you go. So when you're looking it up for Justina, you can just post it for everybody.
Will do. I'll give you links to
there you go.
Years.
And hey, if you want to find that aforementioned Facebook page, how would they do that, Karen?
They can do that by going to facebook.com/Fandom Zone Podcast.
You like that really cheesy
That's
segue?
very good. And if you want to email us and ask us about it, that's fandomzonecast@gmail.com.
Right.
You can listen and subscribe to us in Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. Or you can reach us on Twitter at FandomZoneCast.
Excellent. So, yes. So, please reach us there. You can like us and follow us. And then, if you would, if you're so inclined, give us some ratings on Apple Podcasts, because that helps people find us.
It does.
And grow our little show. So we'd like to get some more likes, and we'd like to get some more follows. And thanks to everybody who is already doing so. We definitely appreciate you. And as we do all our listeners, but
we appreciate everyone.
We especially appreciate those that like and follow us.
Of course.
All right.
Those are the special people.
Exactly. They're it's like extra credit.
That's right.
So for all you zoners out there, that's like super zoner.
Extra credit.
Yeah, exactly. You get the little gold star sticker.
Hey, gold stars are reserved for the people I work with. That's what I give out there.
All right. How about little smiley face stickers?
Okay, smiley face stickers.
All right, there you go. All right. Karen, where can they reach you on the interwebs?
They can find me at Eleveria and at Allie's_stuff on the Twitter machine.
Yes.
I can't think straight today. My leg hurts, you guys.
Think straight.
Thanks, great. My leg hurts today. Okay, at Eleveria or at Allie's_stuff. And in the bio for both of those profiles, you can find my link to all my other links.
All right. Sounds good.
Does that make sense? Did I make sense?
Link to other links. Yes.
Well, there's a link there that will take you to all my other links.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. Sounds good to me. All right. As for me, I'm at Charles Skaggs on the Twitter machine, at Charles Skaggs on the Instagram, Google Plus for all you crazy kids in the Google Plus, Facebook, of course, Charles Skaggs, and my blog of geeky things.
Damn good coffee and hot.
There you go. Dale's on right on it that time. All right. Damn Good Coffee and Hot, where I talk about all the shows that we talk about here on the Phantom Zone podcast and more, including, the trailers that we're talking about in Side A and all kinds of comic book news and sci-fi news. So thanks to everybody who check out my blog and share posts and whatnot. I really appreciate that. And there's also news on my other podcasts I do for the Southgate Media Group, including, the list is getting longer. Next Stop Everywhere, the Doctor Who podcast they do with friend of the show, Jesse Jackson. Ghostwood, the Twin Peaks podcast they do with Zan Sprouse, wife of comic book artist Chris Sprouse. And the upcoming Titan Talk, the Titans podcast they also do with Jesse. But right now, we have to record our third episode because Rob is holding episodes 1 and 2 hostage until we get our third episode. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully, we're planning on recording that Sunday, so hopefully it won't be too much longer before Titan Talk is finally released and we can stop talking about getting it released.
Awesome.
All right. So
Awesome.
stay tuned, guys.
On my front,
yes,
I have Made of Steel. I have Gotham Undercover. I have this podcast. And then coming up very soon.
Yes.
I have Remaking Histories coming back. And that is the Timeless podcast.
Yeah, I know you're excited about Timeless coming back.
I'm very excited because I love my history.
And everybody watch the show so that the show stays alive.
Please. Such a good show, you guys.
It's on NBC, so good luck. Because remember Constantine. Just saying.
I know. But the fans did bring it back.
Yeah.
For season 2. So
it's more than Constantine got.
That is true.
Not that I'm bitter.
I am bitter. However, we do have John back.
Yeah, that's true, because Legends of Tomorrow will be starting up.
With John Constantine.
With John Constantine here in a couple weeks.
So watch for me in Remaking History coming up very soon.
Please do.
Yeah, I think it comes back on the 11th of next month. So.
And then maybe at some point down the road in the future, maybe the 22nd century, the Farscape stuff will come out.
I hope so. No, it's still coming out.
Okay.
It's coming out. I think we're on the 4th
slowly.
Season. I think we're on the 4th season, so it's
okay.
We'll have a party when the final episode.
That sounds good. You can do.
I kind of like that it's still coming out.
Make it a cosplay party.
Sure, we'll do it at Dragon Con.
There you
Everybody
go.
Will come down dressed like the characters from Farscape.
That sounds good. I guess I could go as Rigel. I don't know.
Sure.
I'd rather be John, but...
You could be John.
John.
Why not?
All right.
I'd have to be that chick that repairs all the ships.
Oh, I liked her.
I do too.
She's cool. Her a lot. She's cool. All right. So thanks everybody for listening to the Phantom Zone podcast. Same shows next week, although we lose Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we have one less show next week. Mm-hmm. So come on back for episode 129, and we'll be right here in the Phantom Zone waiting for you. So take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Wow.
Shaman.